Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to Queen Bree's Living, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. It's your host Queen Bree and Robyn T. What's going on, Robyn?
Hi, Queen Bree. It's great to see you. Yes, we are broadcasting live from Rainier Avenue Radio, and we like to mention that we are on the ancestral lands of the Duwamish people, the Duwamish Nation here in Seattle, Washington. And this beautiful background music you are hearing today is produced by Cuddy Fresh, aka Carrie Williams, and we are so happy to be here with you today. Clean Greens has so much going on. What's going on, Queen Bree?
Well, we are reaching our last week. Oh, it's our last week of CSAs passed because, so no more CSAs this week. We will be having just the market going forward. So we're excited about that. Let's see. Our children's program just ended, which is exciting. The kids loved it. They're sad to be leaving. They're wanting us to create something for them to come back this fall, maybe make Christmas things. So I love it that the kids enjoyed themselves. And this past week, they just had a finance class to learn about savings. So that was exciting.
That is so cool. I love the kids program. And I love the Christmas idea. I think we could make wreaths.
Oh my God, that would be so cute. So wreaths and gingerbread houses.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. And hot chocolate, maybe.
Our kids have made gingerbread houses together for so many years in class, which is so cute. Every year it's the same little gingerbread. Well, not last year, I guess. Remote. Who knows how it'll go.
Well, let's do this. Okay, well, let's dive into this today. We have a returning guest. We love to have them on. We love to partner with them. We have Heather Day from CAGJ in the house. She is the Director for Community Alliance of Global Justice since 2006. She co-founded CAGJ in 2001 with others who helped organize the 1999 World Trade Organization protest, and were inspired to build a membership-based multi-sexual organization for global justice in Seattle. She learned how to be an organizer through working with CISP's, did I say that right, community in solidarity with people of El Salvador. She is mom of Henry, who is 8 now, and studies politics and social movements at Evergreen State and UW. Welcome on, Heather.
Hi.
Hi, Heather. Last time we talked to you, your son was turning 8 the next day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's great. It's funny. I like celebrating his half birthday, just any excuse to have a party, and I was kind of sad that I forgot it last week for the first time. But he's 8.5 officially.
That is so nice. I usually celebrate my kids. I give them a birthday eve. I don't give them the half, but I give them a birthday eve. So this is your birthday eve. And one other tradition that I kind of want to stop doing is their birthday is all about them. They don't have to clean up. They don't have to do anything. And we have to do what they want. And that has kind of made them all little divas, even the boys. So welcome back. I know we didn't come
as long as they give you that same on your birthday.
Right?
They don't have to give it. I take it. I am extra on my birthday and Mother's Day. We get 2 days a year. We work hard as women, and I take those 2 days, and I'm extra over the top. I'm not even going to lie. That's where they get it from. So Heather,
Me too.
I know you said
big
what?
deal. I like to celebrate a birthday month. Lots of self-care. It's important.
Right. And it's okay to celebrate us. We have to celebrate ourselves. I feel like mothers and women, we work hard and we deserve to celebrate ourselves.
Totally.
Heather, so you're back and you're back and you have a lot of projects going on. You have things coming up. I don't know. I'm so interested in all of them. I'm just going to start by saying let's talk about what's going on with the UN the summit that's going on. Is it this month or October?
It is in 2 days.
Oh, okay. And what's going on?
I'm flying to New York. Well, it's on Thursday, so I'm actually flying out to New York as part of the protest, although there's not, it's a virtual event now, so they kind of took the legs out from under us in terms of doing it in, protest in the streets outside the United Nations. But it's something we've been building up towards for over a year. When it was announced, the General Secretary of the United Nations appointed the president of AGRA, which we have been protesting since it was founded. AGRA is the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. And the head of it, her name is Agnes Kalibata, and she was appointed the head of this UN Food Systems Summit. So while the idea of an international food system summit, just the sound of it sounds like a really important thing, especially in the era of COVID, like really expose how broken our food system is. Just by appointing the head of the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, which is funded by the Gates Foundation, and we have a campaign focused just on that, we knew right away that it meant that the summit was going to be about corporate control of the food, promoting that, and not food sovereignty, not agroecology, not sustainable agriculture, and reviving our food systems in a healthy way. And that is in fact what has happened. And it's usually United Nations processes, there's protocols that it has to be very participatory and transparent. And this summit, actually what happened is the UN made a special partnership with the World Economic Forum, which is this totally corporate controlled forum in space. And they are just like trying to ram through this new set of policies without any participation from civil society. So basically the entire international food sovereignty movement is boycotting, has said, you're not inviting us to the table, so we're not going to. So we've just spent a lot of effort it's not transparent, so it's been very secretive, so it's actually hard to know exactly what policies they're going to promote, but we've gotten a good enough idea to know that it's a big problem. Although at the same time, they didn't even announce the date of the summit until a couple of weeks ago, and it seems like there's a lot of internal problems, so I think it hasn't been as successful as they hoped. And we've, I think, been very successful in being able to communicate that it doesn't have any legitimacy, because farmers and food producers and the people who are most impacted by food systems don't have any voice. So that's what it's about. And we just are contesting it with, there's been a flurry of analysis and articles and information for months. There was a pre-summit in July. We did an amazing international online protest with participation from people all over the world. And then this week we're doing an event hosted by a really cool organization and cafe called the People's Forum in New York City. And we're inviting the people who weren't invited to be part of the summit, we're inviting them to speak out about it during a 4-hour long forum on Thursday morning.
This Thursday coming up?
Yeah. Yep.
And how can people
There's
check that out?
Free registration link that I will look up while we're talking to be able to say it on the air. But you can, just register for free and come for an hour or 4 hours. And there are 3 different panels, one focused on the African response to the summit. That's the one that we are organizing. And then one on indigenous food sovereignty and organizing to oppose corporate control of the food system by indigenous peoples. and then one on land grabs in North America and how that's related to the summit. And we're calling it the People's Kitchen Counter Mobilization Food System Take Back. And yeah, I can share the registration link.
Okay. And, you know, let's rewind it back a little bit, because I was just so excited to have you back, and we were talking about birthdays and our kids, which we can get lost in that. For those who are just joining into who Clean Greens is, can you just kind of explain to them a little bit about what CAGJ does, so that they understand why you guys are going to New York to protest the UN Food Summit?
Yeah, and I'll just say I found it. It's a bit.ly link. So bit.ly/September, so SEPT23_ food system take back. That's the link to register. Okay. So Community Alliance for Global Justice was founded 20 years ago. We're proud to be celebrating 20 years. And we have been focusing on solidarity campaigns with local frontline food justice organizing in the Northwest, including with Clean Greens, and promoting the incredible work that you all are doing. And then we have some work that's still related to our historic work of protesting the World Trade Organization and free trade agreements. So we still work with the Washington Fair Trade Coalition, sort of educating about the link between trade issues and food issues. And then we also have our campaign focused on the Gates Foundation called Auger Watch, that is trying to hold the Gates Foundation accountable for pushing chemically based corporate industrial agriculture onto the continent, and standing in solidarity with our African partners. And I'm really proud that we're a member of the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa. We also partner with international groups like La Via Campesina, which organizes food sovereignty work around the world, that's made up primarily of food producers themselves. And yeah, we're really grateful that, you know, for the like radical vision that's at the foundation of Clean Greens, and, you know, Reverend Robert Jeffrey's work. You know, Clean Greens is, I think, unique of organizations in Seattle, and that it's like really has these roots to the civil rights movement, which not everybody understands, that the emergence of the food justice movement being like standing on the shoulders of civil rights movement and the environmental justice movement. And, you know, Reverend Jeffrey's, I think, history and understanding of that is really, really important. So we've been really grateful for his vision, and just for the ongoing work that you all do on the farm and education around food justice issues. So we just try to amplify local work like that and partner when we can, and then also have some of this international work that we do.
That's fantastic. You have so much coming up.
We do. It's crazy. We have our big annual gathering, which Slee, which usually when that's happening, we try not to do anything else, you know, right before, because it's a lot to organize. Although it's different, you know, usually it's a big annual dinner, and sadly for the second year in a row, it'll be virtual. So it's a little less hectic in terms of organizing it, but.
Nice. We've seen your post on CAGJ. If you guys up with the latest going on with CAGJ, you should follow CAGJ on Instagram, because they have a lot of information as far as their Slee Dinner, as far as what's going on in the UN. I just seen a post this morning that said, what's wrong with the UN Food System Summit? And they gave you a place, visit unfss2021.org for more information. I'll be watching. I can't comment to everything, but I'll be watching you guys, and you guys are literally doing the work out there, and I'm happy to see it, because it is needed. I don't know if you mentioned, I'm sorry, am I moving too fast? I just keep I feel like I'm bouncing from subject to subject, but what is Slee? What does Slee mean?
Am I still on? I can't. Oh, okay. I think the internet connection was weird. Slee stands for Strengthening Local Economies Everywhere. And it was kind of our overarching campaign for many years. So that's why we called it our Slee Dinner. But just the idea that we need to support our local producers, but not just here. Like we need to recognize that it's like primarily, the global north, the US and the European Union that undermine small scale producers and around the world through our policies. And so we, while we're like building relationships locally and putting value on farmers markets and CSAs and, people, especially in underprivileged communities and people of color organizing around food issues. Like we want to support that here, and we want to make it through, understanding trade and the role of philanthropy internationally, make it possible for people to organize locally everywhere. So that's where that Slee idea comes from. But it's been our sort of signature annual event, usually a community gathering for 300 people. It's all locally sourced food and fish that volunteers cook the day of, and we try to make it, low cost, but it's still a fundraiser. And the keynote always sort of highlights current issues, and we really are doing it, as part of our organizing and to inspire people, kind of be in community, get the nurturing that comes from that, but also try to inspire people to get involved in CHJ, but also, take action for different food issues that are happening. So this year, we're really honored that an incredible activist and author and filmmaker named Raj Patel is giving the keynote. And part of the reason we're so busy is that he is doing so much. So this year, like he literally just published a new book and has a new documentary out at the same time. And, he is a dad of 2 kids and a professor. Like, I don't know how he does it all. But anyway, his new film is called The Ants and the Grasshopper. And I just watched it last night for the first time. It is so beautiful. We actually were filmed for it, and I'm sad our part got cut. That's okay. It's about this woman activist in Malawi, 2 women actually, who do incredible organizing in their own community, and a lot of it has to do with gender. So changing perceptions of who in the community should be responsible for harvesting, watering the crops, and cooking. And they slowly are working on getting men more involved and seeing that it's not just a woman's job, or it's not taking away their masculinity to cook or to help prepare food, and because women have so much burden and responsibility. So these women have been organizing around a lot of different issues, but a lot of it through gender. And then they learn that a lot of the problems they're facing in terms of drought and not being able to produce as much food as their communities need is because of climate change. And then they learn that one of the main causes of climate change is the fact that people in the US aren't doing enough. And so they kind of in the process of making the film, they're like, would you like to go talk to people in the US about that? And they say yes. So part of the film is them traveling and talking to farmers and activists in different parts of the US. And it's really powerful. I really recommend seeing it. So we're offering a free screening of the film on Sunday. The September 26th is coming Sunday. But also, if you register for that, you get access to the film for a whole week. We send you the link in advance of the event, and then so because Raj Patel is our keynote and he co-directed and co-produced the film, we thought it'd be exciting for people to see that work of his as well, and leading up to when he gives the keynote for us, which is on Saturday, October 9th.
That is so exciting. I definitely want to tune in for that free screening of The Ants and the Grasshopper. And it says that you are going to also have a Q&A. Is that something done live, or should we turn in our questions for Raj?
It is live, yeah. So the way the event will work is you come and, we'll do a welcoming with everyone, and then we'll all go watch the film on a different platform because it can't be the same platform. And then we'll come back to the Zoom, and Raj will be there to do a Q&A.
That's exciting.
Thankful for that as well, because it's late for him in his time zone, but he's a good friend of CAGJ. And you, I don't know, he'd be a great guest. He also, his new book that I mentioned is called Inflamed: Deep Medicine and the Anatomy of Injustice. And it's with Rupa Maria, who's a doctor and co-founder of the Do Not Harm Coalition. And it's about revealing the links between health and structural injustices and to offer new deep medicine that can heal our bodies and our world. And I've just heard them talk about that on podcasts, and it's really powerful work.
Oh, that sounds excellent too. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And if you were saying we should have him on the show, we would love to have him on the show.
I already wrote it down. Yeah.
Great. If you have it, we can invite him because his work is interesting, and we would love to bring him on to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because last year your girls came. And I say your girls, I don't mean that in any disrespect. I know I'm trying to get used to all these things that we say these days, so please forgive me. But your workers came and helped out with our youth program last year. And it was sad that they didn't come this year. But
sorry that didn't go.
It's okay. We'll extend the invite for next year because the kids really enjoyed themselves. But I wanted to say I did learn from them. And so I was able to look up stuff for our kids to try to find ways. So one of the things we talked about is how they can, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we like to tell them, we like to educate them. We found something on how they eat can help save the earth, and eating helps with climate change. And so we talked about maybe trying less meats when you eat. There was a project where they was going to grow their own plants in reusable yogurt containers. And then we just made them a food list. And so I just want to thank you guys because some of that, you guys' work helped us figure out how we can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so we got 5 minutes left. Is there anything that you would like to tell the listeners, like how to follow you, how they can get involved, if you need any help with the Slee Dinner?
You can follow us at two different places. So we have the @CAGJ Seattle is both our Instagram and Facebook, but we also have @AugerWatch to follow the Gates Foundation campaign on Facebook. We haven't started that for Instagram. And then those are the same for Twitter as well. We gotta do TikTok, right? That's a new thing. But
I haven't figured that out yet.
Me either. How do you spell Auger Watch, please?
It's AGRA Watch, WATCH. AGRAWATCH.
Oh, Agro. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And just another thing that I'd love to highlight just quickly, and I'm excited because an op-ed is going to be published this week in South Seattle Emerald. So that's a way for people to learn more. But we are in the midst of a campaign to pressure the Gates Foundation to stop funding the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, as well as all the other funders. But the Gates Foundation is the biggest funder. And actually the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa and another organization sent letters to the Gates Foundation laying out why they are concerned, and they've received no reply. The Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa represents more than 200 million farmers, fishers, pastoralists, and indigenous peoples across Africa. The other organization is a faith-based organization and was making a moral case for no longer funding this top-down industrial model, saying what African farmers need is support to find communal solutions that increase climate resilience rather than top-down, profit-driven, industrial-scale farming systems. So I just want to get that message out there that, we need to hold the Gates Foundation accountable, and the more people that, could just make themselves aware that not all philanthropy is good. You have to be critical, even when billionaires, especially when billionaires are trying to shape, the policies that affect our lives. It's not okay because it's so anti-democratic, right? Like we don't have any say in how they function, and that money needs to be redistributed. It needs to be taxed so that we can have a say through government. And so it's just really upsetting to me that these two major organizations sent a letter to the Gates Foundation and they can't even find the time to respond, right? Like it's just so disrespectful. So I'm really excited and happy that South Seattle Emerald's printing our op-ed, and hopefully we'll get something in the Seattle Times, and just, want to generate pressure and get this story out there. There's just not enough media in the US covering it. So I do appreciate this opportunity to get to talk about it with you.
We appreciate you coming. We talk a lot about how people come in thinking they're helping, but then they try to tell you how to do it. And that's not helping. Mm-hmm. That is controlling and making the situation worse, because you wouldn't know what people need unless you talk to them.
It's colonialist too, in the context of Africa, right? It's just an extension of colonialism. So, and that, you see that in local communities as well, of course.
Yeah, you definitely see that in local communities. And I'm glad that you guys are out here, because a lot of times people will see, oh, they're doing work, but no, you got to look and see the work that they're doing, read and be active about this, because sometimes it may not be affecting you right then, but it'll eventually affect you. Yeah. Well, I guess it's time. I mean, we talk so much about some good stuff. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for your patience and coming back and being here with us. We really appreciate it. Let us know where Clean Greens can work with you, and we'll have those greens for your Slee dinner.
Thank you, and you will be invited as honored guests as always. I don't know if you two have been able to benefit from that, but yeah, Tommy and other folks, Reverend Jeffries and beloved Lottie always came to our dinner, and you're invited to come as well. So I'll send you the way to get tickets.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. Up next, Traffic Jam.
Thank you.